Hello, I'm Keelan,
And I'm Doresa,
and
and we
we are
are
Key
Key Destiny
Destiny
Unlimited
Unlimited Abroad.
Abroad. And we want to welcome you to our channel where we talk not just about moving abroad, but staying abroad.
And I hope you will follow us on our journey.
Yeah, because like on this channel, we're going to talk about a ton of things. We're going to talk about what the process looks like to obtain a long-term visa. Our initial visa is actually 10 years. We're going to talk about housing, including the process that we have gone through in having a home built in Thailand, where we're going to be moving. The differences between living short term versus permanently abroad, because we have actually lived abroad before. We lived in another part of Southeast Asia, South Korea.
Yeah, we were in South Korea for a little bit over 2 years.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that. We will talk about all the things you need to do really when it comes to setting up life abroad and some steps that we've learned to help you have a much more successful experience. Now, sometimes we'll be looking down because I got notes because I can go off topic very quickly. So
Yeah, she has a lot to say, people.
a lot. And so we're gonna start kind of with our story, right? And so and that begins with the thing that we kind of always knew we wanted to retire abroad, and it's something we've been talking about for what.
Um, Probably 2 decades now, because uh, we had an opportunity to uh, her job to uh, live overseas in the Caribbean, but we had young kids at the time, and
Very
we
young.
and we said that, oh, maybe this is not the right time. We'll give it another year, and then the whole situation changed. The economy fell with the high housing prices, and so as we go through this journey, we say there's not a perfect time, but the time that you plan and put into it, you can make it work.
Yeah, because when we moved to Southeast Asia the first time, it was not a perfect time, and we'll definitely tell you all about that. But that decision there really propelled us into knowing that we definitely wanted to retire abroad and kind of help to frame that. So we're gonna talk to you definitely about that, about the process, the difference between the right time and the perfect time. You want to go at the right time, it's not going to be the perfect time because there's not going to be a perfect time. So we'll talk to you about that as well. Um, so, um, like we said, okay, we will retire abroad, especially after we lived abroad a little bit, and we ended up not doing that, not retiring abroad. And the reason why we say that is because we actually are not retired.
Yeah.
I'm actually 51.
And I'm 54, so our initial plan was uh, I would probably work to about age 60,
I will work till 57 in my day job.
and then we would go off and retire and live our happy retirement life. But
That's not what happened. We ended up deciding that we were going to move abroad now, and what we're doing it is in more of a phased process because I am actually about to go and move permanently now. So we say we'll be bicontinental, and so I will be living in Thailand and coming back to visit the U.S. And Keelan, you'll be.
and I'll be continuing to work here in the U.S. until I reach my minimum retirement age in about 3 years. But if the situation change, I may go ahead and join my lovely wife sooner.
He's coming sooner. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. He's coming sooner. But it's one of those things because again, there's not a perfect time. There is a right time, and several things influence our decision to move up our timeline. The one being that we we hit a point where when we started to narrow down where we wanted to go, we there was a process that we could go through where we could get a 10-year visa for Thailand. And our visa is not just for us. We have three children. One is about to graduate college in about 2 weeks, and the other two we also have a set of twins, and they are finishing up their sophomore year in college. And so this wasn't, we didn't just want a visa just for ourselves. We wanted to include our children as well. And so for the visa that we got, our children were still in the age category where we could all be together on a family visa. And the visa was right for our family. It was a right fit. And they were actually doing a special at the time. And so we were able to obtain the visa significantly less expensive than it would have been had we waited. So that's when it was like, okay,
Yeah, because we had been talking about it, and we went ahead and we were actually starting to engage with companies to kind of help us attain this visa. And as we started engaging, the announcement came out, oh, dependents, they will be half off for this particular visa that we got. And so we said, this is the right time.
yeah, this is the right time, a 10-year visa, and we getting a deal. So so that was one of the reasons why we moved up our timeline. So another reason why we decided to move up our timeline was because we had a company that we just kind of had to decide, and we kind of like did with it when we had time. But I really felt like it might be a good time for me to focus on our business as my full time job. And so I'm an independent educational consultant. That's one arm of our consulting company that we have. And I match students with universities, particularly when students want to study globally. So they want to move from their home country and do their undergraduate or graduate studies at a university outside of their home country. And when I work with students in the US, a lot of times the countries that they would like to study in are not in North America. If they choose to study abroad, they don't want to be in North America. So they're looking at schools, universities that are in Australia or Europe or China or other parts of Southeast Asia. And so when I'm visiting those universities and making connections with those universities, it's just significantly easier if I'm based in Southeast Asia than having to fly all the way from North America. So that was another reason why we moved up our timeline. But probably the biggest thing that impacted us moving up our timeline was, would you say, was our experience in Southeast Asia prior?
Um, yeah, living in Korea was our first time being abroad for an extended amount of time, and actually having the experience of living everyday life, going to local grocery stores and shopping, how you would live your life here in America. It gave us a pretty good idea of even if that experience was right for us as we were looking to live abroad during retirement. So it let us know that it was something we really could do.
Absolutely. And so that's the big thing. Like we kind of got a chance to do like a little mini test. And that mini test was just over 2 years. And so when we came back, we were like, okay, well, what do we have to wait? Does it make sense that we wait all the way until we retire? And so that was a big part of why we said, let's see if this makes sense for us to do. Let's see if the numbers work and all that sort of stuff. And so we would love
Yeah.
to on this channel talk to you more about that experience that we had prior living in South Korea and what that was like, as to professionals who had like full-time jobs working abroad in another country. So we'll definitely share a lot more like that if folks are interested. So, and if you are interested, please like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff, so you can hear more about our journey. Because that's something that we're going to talk a lot about as well. What does our timeline look like now? And so for a lot of people, we've seen a lot of videos. We love watching videos of people abroad. And a lot of folks are like, I made a decision, and in 30 days, I was there, or in 6 months, I was there. But like, when did our journey start for this move?
Yeah, our timeline was a little bit longer. Um, as we had talked about, I'm still trying to get to a minimum retirement age, but um, we were ready to make that decision. So we started looking probably trying to make this plan realistic in uh, June, July of 2025. So we started talking with different uh, companies, exploring different locations we may want to go to. And then we kind of, during our discussions, kind of settled on Thailand. And as we were looking at Thailand, Thailand announced that for the visa that we were looking at in particular, that dependents were half off. And so we said, well, this is the right time.
Absolutely. And so we applied for that visa in about the like, end of July
Yeah.
of 2025. And our visa application was approved in August of 2025. And so we're actually in our first year of our 10-year visa. And so what what our journey looks like at this point. So we've done a lot and we have a lot still ahead of us. So first we're going to tell you the things that we've done already as part of this permanent move to Thailand. So first we have our visa. So we have, like I said, we have a 10-year visa. The second thing that we did after we got approved for our visa at the end of 20 in December 2025, early January 2026, we went to Thailand to house hunt. And so there are a few areas that we were looking at. We settled on Chiang Mai. And so then we started to do some house hunting. And because we were on a more flexible timeline, we ended up purchasing a home, and that home is being built.
Yeah, and before we even arrived in Thailand, we had reached out online and found a realtor, and he kind of recommended certain areas that we wanted to look at when we arrived there, and gave us some background information. So we did a lot of planning
Yeah.
online
Like,
prior to even stepping foot.
absolutely. So right here from the US. And so right now where we are in the timeline for us to relocate to Thailand is that the house is in the process of being built. We have a hard date of when the house will be finished. They're more than halfway done. And so we have just a couple months until the house is finished. And then when the house is finished, I'll be flying down and finishing up all the last of the paperwork. So my timeline, I have just about 3 months. So um, basically, when we move into our home, when our home is officially ours, from when we started this process will be close, just about a year that it took. But again, it was one of those things that it fit with what we were doing because one of the things that we really wanted was when we make that transition to Thailand, it be as smooth as possible. And having our home already there and ready for us to move into was a big part of that. And so I'll be doing my transition right when our home is ready to move in. And then Keelan is going to be spending some time still back in the US, kind of getting to his minimum retirement age, maybe. Y'all, I'm gonna have him here earlier than that. Don't worry, he's gonna be here. But also there's just other things that we have to take care of as when you're gonna do a permanent move to another country, you have a there's a lot of moving pieces that need to be done, and it's really important to do those pieces right. So there are some things we still need to kind of figure out like what are we getting rid of, what are we sending there, what how are we going to do that process. We still have really a house to sell here in the US. We still have quite a bit that needs to be done. I'm going to be coming back and forth because like I said, my oldest child is graduating now, but I have two more that have 2 more years in college. The twins have 2 more years in college, so coming back for those sort of things. So there's a lot that's going to be happening in the transition. And we want to share that with you all. And so we're going to be doing quite a few videos. I know I shot one video already that was at my 100-day mark. So like I had 100 days left before my flight, and letting you guys know like here are the sorts of things that I'm doing at the 100-day mark, and I'll sort of be doing videos probably every 10 days or so to kind of count that down so that you can see that. We'll have some videos of our closing and doing some house tours and kind of a lot of other stuff that we have planned for you all, because remember the focus of our channel is not just on the move to moving abroad, but it's actually staying abroad. And what are we doing to ensure that to give us the best possible opportunity so that our stay can be permanent? And that's really one of the things that we want to share with everyone. What are the things that you need to do for this move to be as permanent as possible?
Yeah, and we want to uh, be detailed in documenting our particular process. We know it won't be the same for everybody, but we hope you guys can learn from how we think about things and plan things as, and like Doresa said, it's a mindset of living and staying abroad. And so how best to do that. So that's what we want to share with you on our journey.
Absolutely. So again, don't forget to like, subscribe, definitely leave a comment. What are some things that you all would like us to cover? If you've moved abroad or you're planning to move abroad, where are you in the process? We can kind of all get through this together because we know that it's a big deal and it's a big thing. And having an opportunity to share with other people is always a good thing. But until then, this is Doresa
And Keelan,
saying bye bye.